What's up, Royals? I'm Kai. Hope you're doing well, and in this video I'm going to show you 5 of my breeding females as well as talk about what stage they're in within the breeding cycle. So stick around. You're watching Lucas Landon Royals. All right, Royals, so last time we focused this conversation around breeding males, and I selected 5 of them to show you, 5 from my entire collection. This time around, we're gonna talk about the breeding females, and I literally only have 5 right now that are showing signs of breeding, so those are the 5 that I'm gonna show you in this video. So we're gonna start things off with a normal, and this girl is a double het for Ultramel and Pied. So we're hoping for some Ultra Pieds this season. It is a long shot, but what I want to show you here is that she is on the cooling side. She recently went off of food, and then I checked her. I think I felt some follicles in there, possibly 7. Last season she gave me 6, and this season I feel 7. The fortunate thing about this girl is that she gave us a clutch last season, so we have some historical data to go on. Now, even if you don't write down every data point, if you just say have the date of when she laid her clutch, and in this case this was in mid-June, we can work our way backwards to figure out if her development this season lines up to her development from last season by basically taking the date from which she laid her eggs, again mid-June, and subtracting roughly 6 weeks. So that puts us right around beginning of May or end of April time frame. That's when she had ovulated last season. Now, ovulation occurs when the follicles are probably around 35 to 40 millimeters. And since we know the rate at which follicles develop, which is 10 millimeters per month, assuming those follicles were around 35 millimeters right before ovulation, just by subtracting another 6 weeks, we can determine when her follicles were at 20 millimeters. So that would put us right around mid-March. And right now we are in the 2nd week of March at the time of recording this video. So that means we are right on track this year, seeing as her follicles are just shy of 20 millimeters right now. Now, as I said, follicle size grow at a rate of about 10 millimeters per month. So since that girl I just showed you was a little shy of 20 millimeters, the next girl I'm guessing to be about 2 to 3 weeks ahead because she is just a little bit bigger than 20 millimeters. Now, I'm just doing this by feel. If I had an ultrasound, I could measure it, but just from experience, I can tell they're just slightly bigger. This is the yellow belly spot nose het clown female. Now, she's a little bit further ahead in her development. Her follicle size feel a little bit bigger than 20, so I'm guessing maybe 22, 23. Not as big as 30, that's for sure. She's going to be going to shed. I have some cocoa in here just to help boost up the humidity a little bit. I paired her to a clown male. Actually, I have 2 bachelors for her. So we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping to make something cool like a spot nose Russo clown, spot nose Russo yellow belly clown, or maybe just yellow belly spot nose orange dream clowns. Really trying to avoid the pastel here, but I just wanted to show this girl off to you because she is a little bit further ahead in development. Unfortunately, not much to look at since she is in shed. She was on the cool side right here, which is why it's almost not covered in cocoa. But I think because she's trying to shed, trying to get that humidity, there's more heat in the back, and therefore it's releasing more of that moisture into the air. That's probably why she went to the back. But anyway, let's take a look at the next one. Now, because that female was in shed, I couldn't show you the thing that we call a glow. And the glow is really when the female looks brighter and more brilliant, more beautiful than she normally does. But I can show you in the next female. Now, this girl is looking absolutely brilliant. This is a spider VPI exanthic female, and you can just see the quality in this girl. Such bright colors, or I should say silver. And this one is even brighter than usual. She has what we call the glow, and basically it's some hormonal thing that changes the coloration a little bit, makes her look cleaner, not feel cleaner, look cleaner and brighter than she usually is, even though she is a great example of a VPI xanthic. And what I want to show you, if we can zoom in a little bit, you can see that these scales are starting to separate a little bit. Usually the scales overlap each other, but over here you can see a little bit of the skin showing in between the scales, and that's a good sign. That means her body is full of follicles, and this will show the same if they are full of eggs as well. Basically, the body has expanded to hold all that extra mass, and the scales no longer can cover each other. That's why you can see a little bit of what we call scale separation. So wanted to show this girl off to you because she is an excellent example of what we call the glow, and also we can start to see the beginnings of scale separation. The next girl that's in the midst of breeding that I want to show you has a change to her body. So the size and shape has changed, but before I show her off to you, I want to show you another female that isn't in the breeding mood just yet, so we can see what a normal body shape looks like and have that to use as comparison. This one over here is a chocolate desert ghost, and you can see her body size. I want to show you the contour and the shape of her body. So we'll start right behind the head. The neck area is kind of slim. This is expected. This is all normal stuff. She's a very healthy size. And you can see as we progress down her body, the diameter or the thickness, it does get thicker and thicker as we go down, all the way down. And you can see it's probably thickest point is right in the midsection, and then it starts to taper down slowly and gradually all the way down until we get to the other end, which is her tail, and it ends in a point. Okay, so the thing that I wanted you to see is that the body gradually changes from the neck, where it's thin, to the thickest point in her midsection, and then back down to the point at her tail. So now keep that in mind as we look at the next girl. This one right here is my Orange Dream B. So this is Orange Dream, Pastel, and Spider. So what I want you to notice here is that the size and shape is a little bit different. So again, we'll start behind the head where it's thin and narrow, and this is all still the same, and it's getting thicker and thicker. The diameter is getting bigger until we get to about the midpoint, which is right around this section right here. Now you see that it's not starting to taper down. In fact, it's staying pretty much the same diameter. It's kind of like a long cylindrical tube at this point, and we come all the way down, down, down until we get to right here, right in this area right here. You can see that it's basically completely cylindrical up to this area, and then it just sharply tapers down to a point to the tail. And the reason is, again, she is full of eggs. Instead of the midsection being the thickest part of her body, it is now kind of the last third region being that cylindrical shape, because all the eggs and follicles would be collected in that area. Now the Spider xanthic that I showed you earlier, she has follicles. This girl has eggs because she's already ovulated. Now from a body shape standpoint, they're very similar. So when the follicles are, I don't know, 35 millimeters in size, you would see this similar body shape. And of course, after ovulation, you see this body shape as well. But the difference here is that after ovulation, what you feel in her belly are either like the squishy mass or small water balloons. Whereas pre-ovulation, what you would feel are hard, firm balls that are roughly about the size of golf balls. So that's the difference. If you think you've missed an ovulation, you can definitely feel for those follicles. If you can't feel the hard follicles anymore, ovulation already happened. If you still feel those follicles, then you're still waiting for that ovulation. Now, during ovulation, her body was even bigger. I'll throw a picture on the screen so you can see what that looked like. She was absolutely huge, and it's just a great sight to see, even though I know she was probably feeling uncomfortable, but it is a huge milestone. All right, we are down to the last female that I want to show you in this video. If you noticed, I started with the female that was furthest away from laying a clutch of eggs, and I worked her way up to this point. Now I'm going to show you the female that is closest to laying a clutch of eggs. This is the lesser pastel Superstripe. The Superstripe is the allelic combination of yellow belly and spectre. Now this girl's body shape and size is very similar to the last two. The only big difference here is that her eggs are further along, so they're feeling fuller, and because they are taking up a more space, her spine, her ridge, which is right along this stripe, it's actually protruding up a little bit. If you can imagine all that space, all that mass that was originally allocated to, her stomach and her organs, now has the extra need to hold the capacity of all those eggs. So obviously it needs more space, and the spine really has nowhere to go except up. So which is why you see a little bit protrusion of the spine, and that's right along the stripe on her back. So what we're expecting from this girl at this point is to see a post-ovulation shed, also known as a pre-lay shed. So that shed happens roughly 2 weeks after the ovulation, and then after that shed we can expect a clutch of eggs in about a month. So that's really exciting, and I'm really happy and excited for this season. Well, Royals, that's all 5 of my breeding females. Keep in mind the dates, the durations, the growth rates, the development rates. Those are all to be used as guidelines. We don't know exactly how a female is going to develop. Some of them develop follicles very slowly and then they ramp it up at the very end. Some of them develop them very quickly and then they taper off that development towards the end. Some glow sooner, some glow later, some ovulate sooner, some ovulate later, some shed sooner, some shed later, some lay eggs sooner, some lay eggs later. So again, those are all to be used as guidelines. They give you a rough idea what to be expecting so you can pay more attention to them at those critical moments. I call them milestones, but I just want to give you guys an idea of what you could be expecting. Of course, you'll develop your own experiences along the way. That about wraps it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel and you want to be informed of future uploads, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. As always, thanks for watching. Please share, and remember, rules for life. Peace out.